Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a motorcycle racing TV show, Team Chicago Challenge. My email is teamdan45@gmail.com. My website is teamchicago.tv. We're at Blackhawk Farms. We're here for the AHRMA, American Historic Racing Motorcycles Association, their national championship race. You see some great looking motorcycles. It's going to be a great day of motorcycle racing. I'm going to talk to some of the folks. I'm going to give you some more information about AHRMA, vintage motorcycle racing. And it's been a while since I've been at Blackhawk, but we're going to have a pretty nice day. It's going to go overcast, but it's going to be a great day. And don't forget my email, and I love to hear from my audience. It's teamdan45@gmail.com. The first race we're going to look at includes Sportsman 500, Classic 60s, 250 and 350 GP, and 250 Classic. Jumping out front early, it looks like Greg Potter, and he's running in that Sportsman 500 class. Second wave, jumping out to the early lead, looks like Stewart Standards on the 250 GP class. Two-wave start, we're in the carousel area at Blackhawk Farms, this continuous right-hand corner. See a battle developing in the Sportsman 500 class. You got Craig Potter up front. Eric Cook is right on his tail. Alex McLean goes by. Then we see a battle between Stephen Miller and Zeka Perez. They are battling for third and fourth place in that Sportsman 500 class. The 120, check that, 250 class, Paul Germain is still up front. Stewart Sanders is running second. Third place in that 250 class. It's like Tyson Fritz comes by. The battle continues in the Sportsman 500 class. You still got Greg Potter. He is leading Eric Cook. In the Classic 60 class, we see Alex McLean is probably running one of his Nortons. This is battle between Stephen Miller and Zena Perez. Shooting by on the 250, that is Paul Germain, number 61. Right there is Stewart Standards, third place in the 250 class is Tyson Fritz. Doug Bowie is running in fourth place in that 250 class. Looks like Craig Potter passing a slower bike. They continue to battle. It is Potter and Cook battling for the lead in the Sportsman 500 class. Alex McLean, he is first place in the Classic 60 class. In the 250 GP class, Paul Germain went on to pick up the win. Stewart Standards was second. William Deckards was third. And Tyson Fritz was fourth. And I had a chance to talk to my old friend, Al Charles, who's now the national director with AHRMA of road racing, and Cindy McLean, who is in charge of communications. And I asked both of them, can I race my Yamaha R6 with AHRMA? I have a 2006 R6 Yamaha. So you got a class for that I can race?
At this time, we don't have a class for R6s. Many of our classes are based on the spirit of the era. So when it comes to a bike of that era, it's basically 750 four-cylinder bikes, because in the spirit of the era, super bikes were 750s and later migrated to 1000s. So those bikes run in a super bike class. And so we, in the spirit of the class, we only allow certain bikes. But you could race a 2006 Yamaha R1 in that class. Okay. So you might want to step up.
Oh, I couldn't run the R6 and just race against the R1s?
No, because it's not the spirit of the class.
Okay, great.
Not to be negative.
It's not an eligible machine for that class.
Right. Okay. So, how we get a hold of AHRMA and website, Facebook, what else?
Yes, it's AHRMA.org, AHRMA.org. Our schedule is on the schedules and results page if you're interested in seeing where we're actually competing. We compete all across the country. The disciplines we're busy almost every weekend.
So how many road races are there?
Our series this year is 10 road races.
10 nationals.
10 weekends.
10 weekends. We usually practice day on Friday, races Saturday and Sunday. Normally we have around 300 entries per day racing, so it's very busy and it's very competitive because of the variety of classes we have.
Our season end race will be at Barber Motorsports Park during the Barber Vintage Festival, and we typically have, our cutoff is I think 600 entries each day.
For road racing.
For road racing.
And you also have motocross there. You also have trials.
We will have trials.
I mean,
I'm not sure if motocross is going to be there this year or
You have off-road.
not.
You have that.
We're going to have dirt track.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a good place to see us also.
So, you know, even though our name is American Historic, we are very modern when it comes to racing motorcycles. Like I say, we've got young riders, we've got older riders, and it really gives a good place for everybody to race a class. So.
Thank you, Al and Cindy. Next race we look at is Tron Cup Vintage Superbike Bears and Sportsman 750. Jumping out front, looks like Gail Vandenberg, and he's on that Triumph Truxton Twin. Second place looks like Paul Germain, and he's riding Vintage Superbike. You see some of the Sportsman 750s and the Bears go by. We are in turn, maybe 6-7 combination. Still up front on that Truxton Triumph, it is Dale Vandergaard. Paul Germain on the Vintage Superbike is running second. Third place looks like Jim Eric. Quentin Austin is also on the Truxton Cup, and he had the #1 plate from last year. Sportsman 750, we see Brady Engels. And in the Bears class, we got Daniel May. He's up front. Coming by this time. The Triumph is still up front, still being chased by Paul Germain, Jim Eric. And we see Quinn Austin, Paul Aldridge, Brady Engels, Alexander Cook, Daniel May. And on a GPZ 550, see Arch York go by. Jumping to the lead, it is now Paul Germain, and he's on that Vintage Superbike. Gail Vandenberg is second. Jim Eric on the Vintage Superbike's third. Truxton Cup is Quinn Austin. 750 Sportsman leading at Brady Engels. They spark Arch York one more time on his Kawasaki, and I had a chance to talk to him earlier. He's to tell us about his racing team and the service he provides.
Hi, my name is Arch York. I'm the team owner of Underground Team Racing. We support AHRMA as the national safety sponsor. Got into this business about 2018. We started the Underground Team Racing organization. I work for Kansas 811, Call Before You Dig, and in a lot of my meetings during the week, I found out that I was talking to a lot of the same people during the week that are out excavating, that are at the racetrack on the weekends. So we thought, why not promote Call Before You Dig and safety at the racetracks as well? So we've been very fortunate. We picked up several really good sponsors. Julie One Call here in Illinois is one of our sponsors. Work very close with them. They love to see our organization out here and supporting the 811.
Okay, website, someone
Yeah.
get hold of your...
Yeah, UTR811.com. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, things like that as well. So Underground Team Racing.
I take a look at Arch's 1981 Kawasaki GPZ550. This is the motorcycle that brought in the new era of road racing.
Yeah, so 1981 GPZ and the vintage middleweight superbike class. It's a great time, great group of people to race with, always willing to help. That's the AHRMA family, always willing to step in and
I've
help
always said, this is the bike that created the road race explosion.
I think so, I sure
You
did.
could buy this bike brand new for about $2,000 or $1,800. You
Yeah.
could buy leathers for $400.
Right.
At Blackhawk Farms, now this is actual truth, they would run 2 classes for the middleweight novices because there'd be over 100 entries in that class and they could only start 40 or 50.
That's great.
So they used to run this bike, and Ronald Reagan being president, the economy was going great. The average 20-year-old
Right.
had disposable income, and this is the bike. This is a great example of motorcycle racing.
Absolutely, it's a great experience too. We practice there in Topeka, Kansas once a month, and it's funny on the track days. Usually my bike is older than most of the people that are out there on the track practicing, so it's pretty fun. So I definitely enjoy it and enjoy the entire team. Got a really good crew. About 5 guys race with us. We're actually chasing some championship points. Andrew Berkeley chasing on a motard and Sound of Singles 2 this year, doing really well. Shane Quigg chasing out there in Battle of Twins. So it's fun. This weekend I have my youngest son Sam just getting into the racing. He's racing a motard as well. So we're having a really good time. Definitely a great facility.
Thank you, Arch. Next race is Battle of the Twins, Formula 500, 500 Premier, Sound of Singles, and Formula 125. Jumping out front, it's Tony Prost, and he is riding at Battle of the Twins. Second place was Clint Austin, also running the Battle of the Twins. Formula 500, you got Kevin Dinsmore, and 500 Premier, you got Wes Orloff, and those are the bikes that are leading at this point. The second wave is your Sound of Singles, and a lot of those bikes are super motor bikes. This race also had a 2-wave start in the 125 Formula class. It is Craig Herco who is leading, but it looks like that Tony Prost is really stretching the lead. He is flying out there. Battle of the Twins. Second place is Clint Austin. And then you've got Wes Orloff in 500 Premier. And in Formula 500, you got Kevin Dinsmore. And I spot Dave Roper. Dave Roper's been road racing as long as I've been racing motorcycles, and he's riding that Harley-Davidson Sprint. As you see a battle here for the Sound of Singles. Sound of the Singles up front, you got Andrew Berkeley, Andre Taylor, and Steve Alexander are battling for the Sound of Singles. Some of them bikes are super motor bikes. We see Tony Prost, Clint Austin continue to battle in the Battle of the Twins. 125 class, you got Craig Hirko, he's up front. Tim Terrell is second, and Stuart Sanders is running in third place. A couple Sound of Single bikes battling it out. You got super motor bikes, and you got a couple single road race looking bikes, but Tony Prost will not be denied. He is flying out there. Second place in that Battle of the Twins is Clint Austin. Then we got Formula 500. It's Kevin Dinsmore up front. Formula 500, Kevin Anibus is second. 500 Premier, Wes Orloff is up front. And Dave Roper is now running in second place in 500 Premier. And I had a chance to talk to Dave Roper.
I'm Dave Roper, Been racing motorcycles for 52 years.
Just like me. Okay. Now, the one thing that I have to ask you about is I was at the National Museum, Sylvester Roper, steam-powered motorcycle, probably the first steam-powered vehicle, maybe. So what's his relationship to you?
Sylvester is my second cousin, 4 times removed. And but I'm a big believer in the wandering gene theory. And I got some of Sylvester's gene, I think.
So, did you do any dirt track racing, or you just road race?
No, just road race,
Just
basically.
road race.
I've dabbled. I've done one flat track. I've done some trials. I've done some vintage motocross, but
Right.
no, road race is my main thing. Yeah.
Okay, second question. I've counted that I have raced 46 road courses.
Yeah.
How many do you think you've raced?
119.
No.
Yeah.
So you
Now,
raced
some of those, you know, like I count at Daytona, I've raced maybe 5 different versions of the track.
Yes.
So I'm counting that as 5 tracks.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Loudon, the old Briar, I ran it clockwise and anti-clockwise, so I'm counting that as 2 tracks.
Right,
but,
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that's great. So how about on the West Coast? I've never been to Sears Point.
I've raced at Sears Point, I've raced at Laguna
Yeah.
and Willow Springs.
Willow Springs, so you did hit them all.
Yeah, those, and I've raced at the Ridge in Shelton, Washington, which is superb. And I've raced at Seattle International Raceway. I think it's called Pacific Raceway now in Kent, Washington. And I've raced at Portland.
Portland, they got that one that's part drag strip and
Yeah.
road course. I've
Yeah.
raced there too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got 100 and
I think it's 119. Because last year I added one to the list, which was that? No, it was this year. Hastings, Nebraska. So
that's a new track.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the track's been there a while, but it's
Right.
new to AHRMA. That was the first time AHRMA's ever raced there.
Right.
And so that's my latest addition to
So give me 10 bikes that you've raced. Best bike you ever raced. What do you think?
do I have to choose? I'm riding my 350 Harley Sprint here.
Right.
And that's right up there among the best. Matchless G50, TT2 Ducati. I've got a 1946 Moto Guzzi Dondolino, which is a goof. And you know, I raced RD 350s back in the day, and TD3 Yamahas, and I love those. Love the 2-strokes too. I'm AC/DC. I'll go either way.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with you. Okay, great talking to you. What are you racing today?
My 350 Harley Sprint.
And what class you want?
That would be in 350 GP, and I'm bumping up to 500 Premier.
Thank you, Dave. As we take a chance to look at the rear wheel on his Harley Sprint, you notice it's basically a stock wheel, but the front has got a 4-leading shoe brake, and that's why he loves riding his bike, because when you're road racing, your brakes are just as important as acceleration. And at the National Museum, which sadly closed at the beginning of this month, September, I had the opportunity to see the Sylvester Roper original steam-powered motorcycle. You can see the steam canister here. The frame was made out of wood. The wheels are wooden wheels with steel tires. And here are one of the 2 cylinders driving the drive shaft, which turns 2 external flywheels. That's how the wheels are turned. You got 2 shafts turning a flywheel, which is the rear wheel. This thing was built in 1867. Think of that. Just 2 years after the end of the Civil War, the first motorcycle was built using a steam-powered system. The water for the boiler was held in the seat. It's got a standard front end on it with a throttle that worked the brake and to allow steam to the cylinders. What a beautiful piece. I know most of this stuff was auctioned off, and now I spot and I got to see the original. This is an original. The other one was a copy. This is the original Roper steam-powered motorcycle using rubber tires now. This was built in 1894. He was on a velodrome, and he went 40 miles an hour with this steam-powered motorcycle with rubber tires based on a bicycle. Now this one, you see the steam cylinder here. It's only got a single push rod on one side, the external flywheel to turn the back wheel. You see how it operates. I was at the Hardton auction in Glenview when I got to see this steam-powered motorcycle built by Sylvester Roper in 1894. Now let's take a fast lap around Blackhawk Farms. I was there in 2016 running with Moto Bid, riding Phil Young's Kawasaki, very fast bike. Go through turn 1. Turn 2 is this kink that leads you into the carousel, which would be considered turn 3. It's a continuous right-hand corner. Get to lay the bike over and smoothly run through here. Turn 4 is this kink here. Turn 5 is this kink. These 2 turns were added as a safety that leads you now into the new turn 6 and 7. You get to accelerate here, lay the bike over, shift up. Then you got another short shoot, another upshift. Then you got a 90-degree to the right, downshift twice, brake. Another swinging to the right. You accelerate, shift up again, shift up one more time, lay it through this kink. 3 downshifts, and it will take you onto the front straightaway. Now the first time I raced at Blackhawk Farms was in 1980. As I show you this picture, I'm riding a Rocket 3 BSA, 3 cylinders. August 31st, 1980 was my first official road race. The bike was steady, but not as fast as the modern Kawasaki's. This bike could probably do maybe 100 miles an hour on the straight. Phil's Kawasaki could do 150 just about. If we continue through turn 5, 6, 7, come out here, we're into turn 7, 8, 9, and I believe the last corner onto the front straightaway would be turn number 10. But this is Blackhawk Farms. You get to see what the racetrack looks like. They have done wonderful improvements, great concession stand, flush toilets, showers. They have made this one of the premier tracks in the country. And now we're looking at the final race we're going to cover today. And this is Formula 750, sponsored by New York Norton and Haggerty. As we see Tim Joyce, Tim Joyce has won many, many races. I believe he probably is on a Triumph Twin 750. Second place, it's like Christopher Fargo, Shane Turpin, Brady Engels, all running these bikes that are built probably before 1980, and they're running 750s. Now, Tim Joyce, he's won many, many races. I've witnessed he's probably won over 100 road races in his career, if not a few more than that. As we see Christopher Sprago trying to find a way by. Shane Turpin is right there too. Brady Engels, Colton Roberts, Jeff Carson. Looks like Michael Dixon, this might be one of his first races, but at least he's out there and he's having a great time. I'm sure he's got a big smile on his face. The battle continues to rage for first place. We got Tim Joyce. His best time is 1:19.336. Christopher Sprago, and he is looking for a way by. His best time during this race is a 1:19.171. Shane Turpin's right there. He's turning 1:19.412. They are flying out there. This is a great race. Michael Dixon's having a great time. No doubt about it. But down to the end, look how close. This is Battle Royal. But Tim Joyce is going to go on and pick up the win. Christopher Spargo only lost by 0.518 seconds. That's how close it was at the end. It was a great day of racing at Blackhawk Farms. For information on American Historic Racing Motorcycle Association, their website is AHRMA.org. AHRMA.org. Road racing, flat track, trials, motocross. To contact me, and I love to hear from my audience, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. Remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action. Dan Schmitt Politics to learn what makes America great. And I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum. They're in Winamac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson, Indiana, on Indiana Highway 39. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles. And if you want to pick up a copy of the Team Chicago History package, go to Rich's Yamaha in Lockport, Illinois, but give them a call first at 815-838-8130. Their website is richesyamaha.com. Pick up the package and you'll learn more about Team Chicago.